It was a quiet evening in Ouagadougou. The setting sun cast a soft orange glow through the tall windows of the State House, touching the rough papers and dusty books stacked across the president's desk. President Ibrahim Traoré sat alone, deep in thought. The memory of the attempted coup still lingered in the air like smoke. Trust was fragile. Enemies were not far. But even with all that, Ibrahim's spirit was not broken, only made sharper, more determined. As he stared out into the horizon, thinking of how to protect his people and rebuild the nation, there was a soft knock at the door. It was Fatou, his loyal secretary, a woman in her mid-30s with kind but serious eyes. She stepped in, holding a sealed envelope with trembling fingers. "Mr. President," she said quietly, "this just arrived, it's from Rome. From Pope Francis himself." Ibrahim straightened up, surprised. "The Pope?" he repeated, almost disbelieving. Fatou nodded. Without hesitation, Ibrahim reached for the letter. The envelope was plain, no glitter, no gold, just a simple seal from the Vatican. He opened it carefully, almost reverently. "To His Excellency, President Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso. My dear son, I write to you not merely as the head of a church, but as an old man who has seen the world turn through many seasons, some filled with light, many clouded by darkness. I have followed your journey from afar. I have watched how you rose with the voice of your people behind you, carrying a torch that many thought long extinguished. And so, I write this letter not with political intentions, but from a place of fatherly concern and spiritual brotherhood. I must speak to you plainly because the road before you is not paved with ease, but with trials. You must prepare yourself, Ibrahim. Prepare your heart. Prepare your hands. Prepare your nation. You will face more storms ahead. The enemies you see now are only the first wave. There will be attempts to break you, not only with weapons of war but with weapons of deception, lies, and manipulation. There will be new coups plotted in the dark corners of your cities. There will be whispers among your own men. There will be gifts offered with one hand while the other hand sharpens the dagger. Europe will pressure you. Their leaders, wrapped in words of diplomacy, will invite you to sit at their tables, only to demand that you abandon the spirit of your people. The United States will watch you with suspicious eyes. Some of their powerful men will smile at you in public, but in secret, they will seek to steer your path away from true independence. If you refuse to bow, they may attempt to shake your foundations. Expect sanctions disguised as assistance. Expect isolation disguised as concern. Expect betrayals from those who once pledged loyalty to you. Many will call you stubborn. Some will call you dangerous. Few will call you wise. Do not fear these things, my son. Remember, it is better to stand alone in the truth than to sit among kings and falsehood. The task before you is not merely political, it is spiritual. You are called to rebuild a people's soul that colonialism tried to break. You are called to restore dignity to a land that many thought could be bought or sold. You are called to show the world that Africa does not need to beg at the doors of others, because Africa has always carried within herself all she needs. But know this, you cannot lead with anger alone. You cannot sustain with revenge in your heart. Your enemies must not become your teachers. Lead with justice. Lead with mercy. Lead with a fierce love for your people, but also with a humility that leaves space for wisdom. There will come moments when you will doubt yourself. There will be nights when you will wonder if it is better to compromise, to take the easier path. In those moments, I ask you, look to the faces of the children in your villages. Look to the calloused hands of the farmers who till your land. Look to the tears of the mothers who pray over their sick and poor. They are your true army. They are your true reason. They are your true gold. And when the world becomes too heavy to bear, kneel. Kneel not before kings, but before God, who raises the lowly and humbles the proud. You are not alone, Ibrahim. All across Africa, the winds are changing. There are others like you, silent, strong, waiting. Your courage will awaken their own. Your stand will echo beyond your borders. And when the dust finally settles, whether in your lifetime or long after, know this. Burkina Faso will remember you as one who refused to sell her soul. And heaven will count you among those who fought not for power, but for the dignity of the human spirit. I send you my blessing as an old shepherd sends it to a young lion. May you walk in the fire and not be burned. May you walk among snakes and not be bitten. May you walk through the valley of death and fear no evil. Hold your head high, son of Africa. The world is watching. Heaven is watching. I will pray for you until my last breath. May peace, wisdom, and unbreakable courage be with you always. Francis, the servant of the servants of God. President Ibrahim Traoré sat silently at his desk, the long handwritten letter from Pope Francis resting between his fingers. His eyes traced the last words again slowly, as if trying to absorb their power into his soul. A small, calm smile spread across his face, not of arrogance but of quiet strength. Fatou, his loyal secretary who had been standing a few steps away, watching the president in silence, finally gathered the courage to speak. "Mr. President," she said gently, "is everything okay?" Ibrahim looked up at her, the smile still lingering. His face, often stern in meetings and battle plans, now carried an almost fatherly warmth. "Yes, Fatou," he said, his voice deep and steady. "Everything is more than okay." She hesitated, noticing the emotion flickering beneath his calmness. "The letter, was it bad news?" He shook his head slowly. "No," he said. "It was a reminder of who we are and the road we have chosen." Fatou stepped closer, curiosity in her eyes. Ibrahim folded the letter carefully, treating it like a sacred relic, and placed it gently inside his desk drawer. He stood up, walked to the window and looked out over the city of Ouagadougou. The bustling streets, the sound of laughter, the cries of market vendors, the smell of roasted maize from the corners. "Our journey will not be easy, Fatou," he said, his voice soft but powerful. "They will come for us. They will try to break us. But we will not kneel. Not to gold. Not to guns. Not to promises wrapped in chains." He turned to her fully now, the last rays of the sun casting a golden halo around his figure. "We will build a Burkina Faso that stands tall, not because of what others give us, but because of what we have always had inside us. Courage. Faith. Unity." Fatou's eyes glistened. She nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. "What should I do with the letter, Mr. President?" she asked softly. Ibrahim smiled again, this time a little wider. "Keep it safe," he said. "One day when the world tries to rewrite the story, we will show them that even in the darkest times the light still burned in Africa." He placed his hand on his heart, breathed deeply and then, almost whispering, said, "Let them come. Burkina Faso is ready." And with that, Ibrahim Traoré, the Lion of Burkina Faso, turned back to his desk, already thinking of the next steps to safeguard his people and honor the sacred call written in that letter. The room was now quiet, lit only by a single lamp on the president's desk. Fatou had already left for the night, but President Ibrahim Traoré stayed behind, deep in thought. The letter from Pope Francis rested before him like a silent companion. He picked up a pen, his hand steady, his mind clear, and began to write a response, each word flowing from the depth of his heart. "Your Holiness, I received your letter with deep gratitude and reflection. Your words of warning, your concern for my life, and your unwavering love for peace reached me not just as a leader, but as a son of humanity. I understand the storms you spoke of. I am aware of the hands that move in the dark to destabilize hope whenever a people choose to stand on their own feet. I know the pressure, the threats, and the cunning strategies that will be unleashed to derail our dream of freedom. Yet, Your Holiness, I write to assure you, we are not afraid. We are a people who have suffered in silence for too long. We have eaten the bread of sorrow and drunk the wine of injustice. Now we are awake, and no force on earth can put us back to sleep. Your letter strengthens me. It reminds me that leadership is not for comfort but for sacrifice. It reminds me that standing for righteousness often means standing alone. But we are never truly alone when we stand with truth. I promise you, Your Holiness, that as long as I breathe, I will fight not with hatred but with courage, not with revenge but with justice. I will fight to give our children a homeland where dignity is not imported, but born from within. May your prayers be with us. May your spirit find peace knowing that Africa is rising, not in anger but in honor. With great respect and unwavering hope, Ibrahim Traoré, President of Burkina Faso. After sealing the letter, Ibrahim handed it to his special envoy with instructions to deliver it personally to the Vatican. But fate moved faster. Just 2 days later, a somber message echoed across the world. Pope Francis had passed away. Ibrahim Traoré stood on the steps of the presidential palace as the flag of Burkina Faso flew at half-mast in honor of a man he never met, but who had left an indelible mark on his spirit. The letter never reached its destination, but the words written that night lived on, in the heart of a leader, in the soul of a people, and in the winds of a new Africa rising. Thousands gathered at the national square of Ouagadougou, many dressed in simple white garments, a sign of mourning and respect. The air was thick with silence, broken only by the low hum of traditional drums beating slowly in the background. At the center of the square, a black podium stood draped with the colors of Burkina Faso. President Ibrahim Traoré walked solemnly to the podium, wearing his simple traditional Faso Dan Fani cloth. No golden chains. No military badges. Only humility, dignity, and a heavy heart. He stood quietly for a moment, allowing the silence to settle before raising his head and speaking. His voice steady, his spirit unshaken. Ibrahim Traoré's tribute speech. Today we gather not just as a nation but as a family of humanity. We gather to honor the life of Pope Francis, a man who carried the burdens of the world with quiet strength and an open heart. Though we never met in person, he spoke to me as a father speaks to a son, warning me of the storms to come, urging me to stand firm in the face of darkness. He saw what many could not see, that our fight is not against people but against the chains of dependency, against the slow poison of injustice. Pope Francis believed in the dignity of every nation, big or small, rich or poor. And he believed in the sacred right of every people to shape their own destiny, without fear or favor. He warned me that trials would come, that coups would be plotted, that isolation would be attempted. But he also reminded me that the strength of a leader is not measured by how many allies he has abroad, but by how deeply he is rooted in the love and loyalty of his people. Today I tell the world, Burkina Faso is not abandoned. Burkina Faso is not weak. Burkina Faso is awake. And we are not alone. Our people stand. Our dreams live. Our hope burns brighter than any threat. Thank you, Pope Francis, for believing in us, even when the world doubted. You are gone from the earth, but your voice remains in the wind, whispering to every African child. Rise. Walk. Build. We will walk, Holy Father. We will build. And we will rise, for ourselves, for Africa, for humanity. Rest in peace, Son of Truth. As the speech ended, the crowd rose in one united voice, chanting, Africa shall rise. Burkina Faso forever. The drums grew louder, but not in mourning, in celebration of a future that no longer begged for permission.